Hello and welcome to Just Stop Top 10s, and today we're going to be counting down the top 10 weird fetishes only people who post 8chan memes like. Before we start, hit that subscribe button for more hourly content. Number 10, Burger King foot fetish. The first thing some people want to see when they wake up in their beds is the king of Burger Town, but more specifically, his gigantic feet. It is to be noted these people love the taste of Burger King foot lettuce as they think it might be fungus from the king's very own overgrown calluses. Corporations. They make the world go round and have existed pretty much since the beginning of civilized society. It stands to reason that there isn't a possibility to have a consumer without a supplier to, well, supply a product. Big corporations rule every major department store, fast food chain, and even brand of fruit you eat. Yeah, you know that fruit you get every day from the supermarket? Chances are a big corporation has pumped it full of GMOs and mass-produced it for your convenience. That's the model when it comes to how major labels and manufacturers create cheaper items than independent brands, pump out more, faster, and higher quantities with little concern for the actual quality. No option is off the table to reach their objective. That shirt you and I are wearing could be made by some poor kid in Pakistan named Raj who works for 5 cents a year. Our food could be picked by illegal immigrants who work in the US for low wages in the summer months to help their families. It usually has to do with taking advantage of the less fortunate, if that wasn't clear enough. That might just be the reason there's always been an underlying culture of employees or simple Joes who feel the need to revolt or compete against the big factories, because due to the stigma of the lower class manning the lower branches of major corporate chains, those citizens feel the shallowness and soullessness of said corporations firsthand and want to make it better. Plenty of independent businesses and stores open up every year to try and attract customers, but unless they give something both entirely different from the norm and worth buying, that business could easily sink in its first year of operation. That's when the corporation will take advantage of the failing store by buying it, but keeping the name to make it feel as though it seems like it's still that small coffee shop with no interference from the normie culture. This can happen with successful brands too, because if you can mass produce a store that's known for being indie and away from the other cultures, people will start gravitating to it, and before you can close your eyes, it's become the next big brand with products of a diminished quality from when they started appealing to the masses of American culture. I have a philosophy of sorts when it comes to large businesses. If something else is able to independently succeed, businesses will try to profit off of, replicate, or buy that independent product to make themselves some cash and grow. That's the situation I think is slowly starting to befall YouTube. YouTube was created, at least how I see it, as a way of independently creating your own content with no interference from the corporate overlords of a TV network, either milking your creation for all it's worth until it's a hollow shell, or destroying all your hopes and dreams by letting it run for 6 episodes, then cancel it, but keep the rights so that you can't make any more of it. And then one of the biggest conglomerates in the world bought it 2 years into its lifespan. Despite the irony of independent creators being hosted by the world's largest internet-based company, I'd call the mid to late 2000s the golden age of YouTube. Rising stars that still exist today started their journey on YouTube at around that time, like Nigahiga, AVGN, Smosh, etc., but during that age the great shine ever so much more, but the trash also shows itself much easier in comparison. Yeah, you already know what I'm gonna say. 2007 was the year Watch Mojo first came to YouTube and plagued everyone's recommended with their top 10 videos. To be fair, they didn't start off making top 10s. Looking at their oldest videos, you can see they were actually quite experimental in the kind of content they made. I know putting Watch Mojo and experimental in the same sentence is an oxymoron, but stay with me here. It's pretty clear why they were experimenting so much, to find that one cash cow that would sell, and as people began succeeding on YouTube off of top 10 lists, they made one and uploaded it like 6 times, all of which became more popular than any of their previous videos. Now they make dozens of videos a week, all related to top 10s, because they know it sells, and if one video doesn't do quite as well as they'd like it to, the next 20 might. Remember what I said about major corporations, quantity over quality. Also, remember the old saying, every big catch comes with a ton of leeches. Just out of curiosity, how many top 10 sites and or YouTube channels can you name that make videos on a daily basis? Screen Rant, Taco, Top 10's The Richest, and they always have a need to one-up each other for those precious views. More circles, more arrows. Put those sexualized thumbnails out in bulk. Our YouTube top 10 takeover should be fully operational. And don't even think of creating a new genre no one's seen before. The ad executives are always watching. Even when it comes to smaller companies that were specifically started for YouTube channels, they have their own versions of Let's Plays, reactions, storytime animations, create anything that can possibly be marketed to kids, and those executives
execs will find a way to produce it as fast as possible. We're never gonna get a full-on commentary channel from businesses because it isn't exactly a walk in the park trying to market a kid-friendly leafy, though there have been a few drama channels as of late. The most recent example showing the extent of the man trying to corporatize a genre of entertainment built from YouTube culture, Storytime Animations, is perfect at illustrating how far companies will go for that sweet, sweet dough. Storytime animators were sort of created due to YouTube's changing algorithm favoring watch time over views, meaning regular animators were basically screwed over. They adapted to mix story times with less complex animation to show off their personality in a more direct way by, well, telling stories. Every kid on YouTube knows James, Jaden, Dominic, Swoozy. It's a culture in and of itself. Patient zero for corporate takeover of this culture actually happened is summed up pretty well with this clip.
How do you do, fellow kids?
Actually Happened was the first of many channels to weaponize story times. Their model was supposedly to get stories from people all over the world so they can tell their most embarrassing, shocking, or funny stories. A concept, mind you, that was stolen from a much better channel called Storybooth. I once made a video on Actually Happened, so I know their game. They've made videos on stories that are blatantly and easily proven false. Their animations almost entirely consist of bad motion tweening that doesn't even try to hide it. The various art styles are all amateurish and made for the purpose of needing even less effort to move around. The voice acting is bad, and they pump out videos on the daily to help serve their lord and master, the algorithm. I checked back to see if anything had changed, and it has. Their story times are now all over 10 minutes long for obvious reasons. I tried watching a new video and obviously got bored 2 minutes in. I may have made Actually Happen seem like a garbage channel that no one would like to watch, but they're Mad Max Fury Road in comparison to their copycats. My Story Animated and Share My Story are probably the best examples. But just to be clear, there are dozens, hundreds of examples that you can choose from. Just type in Story Animated and you will find several, too many corporate channels. But anyway, those two examples take what Actually Happened did, and they crank it up to 11. In their stories, cannibals are everywhere, people are always cheating on one another, the world just sucks, and you have to deal with it. I've never personally found their assortment of videos online, but they accumulate millions in days. It's unprecedented. This kind of hierarchy where the lower rungs of the corporate ladder are always trying to overpower the big fish with more and more shitty content happens with every kind of business-like channel, and you know what? The average content creators and viewers who like to have quality when they watch don't really like this at all. Shocker to no one, I'm not exactly stating an unpopular opinion when I say these channels are all annoying and could be run by a 5-year-old if they had enough money to throw it at a wall. I have a theory that the viewers of these videos aren't just kids, but also people who don't actually like the videos, but they appear so much in their recommended that the viewer just watches it in hopes of not seeing it again, but then the algorithm gives them more and more of the same kind of videos, perpetuating the success of them when they have no talent. The only people I can see wanting to subscribe to these channels are the same kind of people who like to watch Keeping Up with the Kardashians. There's actually a simple reason why most people don't want to repeatedly turn into whatever new bullshit Watch Mojo or Actually Happened or Fine Brothers has to offer on a daily basis. All of these channels have no personality or heart put in that viewers can relate to or grow attached to. It's been scientifically proven that there's more of a response to actual people than it is to regular advertisements. People just like people more. The entire idea behind channels like Actually Happened is to entice people with the thumbnail and tell a most likely made up, dumb, and or trying to be heartwarming story for someone to either lol or cry at. And then for the next video, Control-C, Control-V. Every voice actor is generic with no flair of their own and will be forgotten about as soon as they appeared because another will take their place to fill the void as the cycle continues to repeat. Storytime animators, you know, the independent ones, all have unique personality traits that make their videos stand out among the crowd, some less than others, but it's true nonetheless. Their animations can range from mediocre to professional based on skill, art style, and other factors that regular people have. When you watch one of Tabs' videos, you can declare, damn, that's got some serious work put into it. I can see why this took a while to upload, and they become popular figures due to their work. People connect better with stories consistently told by other real people who grow and evolve as they gain more experience. You ever wonder why Daft Peanut doesn't talk about individual Storytime animation channels from big companies that pump it out on the daily? Because all criticism that could be given would be exactly the the same for each, and also they probably wouldn't listen. The same can be said about top 10 videos, and yeah, you can put personality into those. I'd much rather watch a Danger Dolan or Rebel Taxi top 10 than to watch Mojo top 10. Why? They aren't hack voice actors hired off the street that are either unable to emote or just don't want to do so, and are reading off a piece of paper written by some Russian guy who doesn't know great English. I have nothing against hiring voice actors for videos if you don't want to, but please, if you do, get competent ones instead of the kind that pauses every other second, well, in the middle of a sentence. My point is that actual creators, the ones YouTube was built on back in the day, are the kind that everyone respects and likes, rather than just watches because crazy thumbnail, and yet YouTube, from what I can glean, appears to prefer the richest and My Story animateds over the average, hardworking YouTuber. Throughout this video, I've been going over soulless versions of channels that had original ideas, but I haven't talked about the channels that were corporate from the start. You ever heard of trending? As most of us know, trending is an area of YouTube devoted to taking hand-picked videos and putting them on the front page even if they aren't actually trending. And guess what? Several of these lovely cherry-picked videos are of what else but TV clips, music videos, trailers, so on. A good 40% of trending uploads are major company related. I don't see it quite as often, but watch Mojo and Co make their way on as well. That's the main theory that I have, that YouTube is slowly trying to push for more corporate-friendly or corporate-run channels to take over the site and dictate the main quality consensus. YouTube may have updated its harassment policy, so if you call someone a mean name, then you can get your video taken down, but for all of those late-night talk show hosts calling Trump big and fat and orange and a tangerine, they can stay up, and they still stay up and still get on trending every day. It isn't a difficult concept to grasp. Corporate channels have higher budgets that they can put into more people to create more videos at a faster rate. That's one of the downsides of being a creator on YouTube without a full team. Your video output is slower, and you might start to feel like you're lagging behind in the analytics department or in trying to have regular scheduling. Jimmy Kimmel Live can just take multiple clips from a single hour-long episode that airs every Monday and upload a new one for everyone to loll and raffle at each day. Oh my god, Jimmy Kimmel told parents to say they ate their kids' Halloween candy. Scandalous. Cable might be a dying genre, as it were, but live shows, game shows, and talent competitions are just as alive as ever, and YouTube channels can make extra bank splitting those episodes up into manageable bite-sized pieces. The passing of PewDiePie by T-Series, a massive Indian company that does nothing but post dozens of Bollywood-related entertainment clips, shows just how much we've transitioned as a culture on YouTube, or should I say how YouTube itself has changed. COPPA might stop channels like Jake Paul or Rice Gum trying to indoctrinate kids into the religion of buying dat merch, but YouTube's always had that second option of appealing to network channels and such. Channels on television were sort of forced to get YouTube channels because it was with the changing culture, and if they weren't going to keep up, they would fall behind and end up losing more and more viewers. Nowadays on YouTube, you either have to get a shout out from some other creator or already be popular to gain subs. It's unlikely you'll get popular because not only is a ton of content created every moment, but YouTube will only promote big channels with, I don't know, 5, 10, 20 million subscribers. That might sound a bit hypocritical coming from me, the guy who got tons of subs this year and basically grew massive in 4 months, but don't look at me as if I'm the guy you're gonna end up being. The fact I got popular at all was a fluke of the algorithm deciding to randomly promote me. I was bubbling under for over a year, basically stuck at around 450 subs until I blew up out of nowhere. You can see it through my Social Blade statistics. Do you think BuzzFeed and Fox News constantly get views because they make amazing content? No, it's because they make videos that either were already aired on TV or are posted on their own website, and they're already established companies that make millions. Not only that, but they appeal to a large mass of people and the algorithm just decides to favor them. I don't even necessarily hate that they can get popular and make views and such, but when they overtake content created by hard-working, singular people or a small group of people who are making videos to make good content and not to try and post every 5 seconds, I get a little annoyed because it feels like YouTube itself is trying to push out their smaller creators who can't seem to make it. Call me some old-fashioned boomer if you like, but I remember when you needed to put a good amount of effort into your work, and if you took the time to make a polished or entertaining video, you could get big. I mean, there's always going to be a place for the music videos and the news videos, but I don't feel like there needs to be a place for the actually happens in the watch mojos. Yet here we are, thanks to YouTube trying to become more of a mainstream platform like TV and Netflix by appealing to an audience of desensitized sheeple who see terrible content blandness like Screen Rant and go, yeah, this is fine. And will we ever get out of this hole of YouTube continually promoting big corporate channels usually made by Brightside Media and releasing more and more unnecessary add-ons every day to try and become more like the competition? Probably not. I don't see Susan wanting to step down anytime soon for new management, and when was the last time YouTube listened to us? But even so, try and ask for more from the content you decide to watch, because when you don't, you get a bunch of My Story animateds and Share My Stories, and we all know how people feel about those. Alright, good night.
Oh no, the world has come to an end because of nuclear war, cats and dogs falling from the sky, mass hysteria. But hey, have you ever thought about how you're missing anime and meme merchandise? That way, when they find your terrible, irradiated corpse, they'll see your apparel and go, boy, this guy sure like memes. This video is sponsored by Beautiful Halo and their amazing set of meme merchandise, like this one, and this Guy Fieri collage. I'm particularly fond of this one because it's just Nick Cage's face. So go check it out through my link in the description and get a discount of 5 for anything over $50 and 10% for anything over $100 with the code MEME. Okay, thank you, goodbye.